both chambers. Members of the Senate have already begun making their way into the House because to get ready for the business that is lined up for consideration this afternoon. And in this afternoon priority business, there are motions as well as bills that are lined up for consideration at the division stage. Also, bills to be considered at the Committee of the Whole House stage. And also this afternoon, pursuant to provisions of a Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Embu County, Honorable Alexander Mundigi, will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding the challenges facing mango farmers in Embu County. This is just part of the many statements that the Honorable Senators will also be seeking from various standing committees. The motion on the reports of the Standing Committee on Health, on the county oversight and networking engagements that were done in Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Kiambu, Bungoma and Kakamega counties, and whose reports were laid on the table of the Senate on different dates. For instance, the county oversight and networking engagements in Kitui, Makueni and Machakos counties. The reports by the Standing Committee on Health were laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 26th of February 2026. The reports for Kiambu County was laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 19th of March 2026, and the Bungoma and Kakamega counties were laid on the table of the Senate on the Tuesday of 21st April the year 2026. Now, these are activities that were conducted by the Standing Committee on Health, the Senate Standing Committee on Health, in these various counties, engagements or activities that sought to understand the healthcare delivery services that are being offered to the electorates within these particular counties, to be able to also understand the challenges as well as the state of even the healthcare facilities in these counties, and to be able to give out the report. So you will recall, or you may recall, that debate on these particular reports already started or kicked off on the floor of the House, and this afternoon also it will be a resumption of a debate that was interrupted on 3rd of June 2026. On your screens, we can see the procession of the Speaker on the red carpet aisle, making its way, or that is leading straight into the chamber. The Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, that is the mess, also ahead of him, a symbol of authority of the House, also of the Speaker. He will be presiding over this afternoon sitting. You will allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good afternoon.
Na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tukuomba utuwajalie tuyatenda na kufikia mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
The prayer has been said and the chair taken. However, there is a quorum hitch that is at the commencement of the sitting of the Senate. And the Speaker has directed that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. This is as provided for in the House Standing Order number 40. Standing Order number 39 indicates that the quorum of the House shall be 15 or is 15 members. However, if that quorum is not present at the time the chair is taken, then that would mean that the House has not quorated, and that would mean that the quorum bell be on, of course, to give room to the members of the Senate to be able to make their way into the House. And being a Thursday afternoon, you understand that the members of the Senate have been engaged in various committee sittings. Remember, the work of the Senate is not only at the plenary sitting, but extends to the committees as well, being a vital tool or an organ in the working processes of legislatures, without which the proceedings of our legislature could grind to a halt for the sheer volume of activities that would have to be considered at the plenary committees. So the committees enable the legislatures to be able to organize their work in such a way as to perform numerous activities simultaneously and expeditiously. So there are some of the matters that are being considered at the committee include reviewing of legislation, reviewing and approving of the budget and expenditures for the execution of governance, and also scrutinizing governance activities, policies and programs, assessing whether they meet the intended objectives of legislation, policy frameworks, and also development plans. Also investigating or conducting investigation on various special issues of vetting and approval of executive appointments, as well as also providing a platform for public participation in the execution of specified business. So most members usually sit in these committees, or members sit in these committees, and on a Thursday like this, then perhaps most of them are yet to perhaps conclude on the committee sittings and make their way into the House. So more members shall be making their way into the House to be able to join their colleagues who are already inside the chamber and to be able to transact the business that has been laid out for consideration in the order of business this afternoon. At this point also, the whips of the House, that is from both the sides, that is the minority and the majority, usually are needed to be able to ensure or whip the members to be able to make their way into the House as fast as possible so as to enable the House attain that much needed quorum and for it to be able to commence. So as we wait for that quorum to be attained, we shall continue to take a look at the business that they shall be transacting this afternoon. The Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly and has already undergone through debate at the Senate. This afternoon is lined up for the mover to be called to reply. Earlier on, I indicated that there are bills that are lined up for consideration at the division stage. Of course, this will also be subject to the quorum of the House when they get to this particular stage for these bills to be considered at that particular stage division. Remember, the division of these bills requires a vote of 24 delegation for it to make it through the next stage. And the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the Senate and sponsored by the Honorable Senator for Meru, Honorable Katuri Murungi, is one of the bills that has been lined up for consideration at the division stage. This is a bill that basically seeks to delete cathinone and cathin being substances found in miraa from the ambits of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Act. You understand that miraa is recognized, is actually a recognized crop under the second schedule of the Crops Act 2013 and is a source of livelihood for many Kenyans. The government of Kenya has been at the forefront in instituting key institutional reforms in the miraa industry, and these reform initiatives culminated to the enactment of the Crops Miraa Regulations 2022, the opening of Somali markets, and the renegotiation of the reopening of markets in other countries. However, despite these strides and gains that have been made in developing a well-elaborate and robust miraa sector, miraa industry continued to suffer setbacks as National Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, commonly abbreviated as NACADA, classifies miraa as a psychotropic substance because of the cathin and cathinone substances found in miraa. So this bill has been on the floor of the Senate, went through all the stages. This time is coming up for division, for it to be read a second time, and for it to be able to move into the next stage of consideration, that is at the committee of the whole, where if there were any amendments that the members may have proposed during the debate stage, as well as if there are amendments that the committee recorded during the public participation stage, then they can be considered or they can be reviewed at this particular point. If you're just joining us, that the House is about to commence. The prayer has already been said and the chair taken. There is a quorum hitch, and the Speaker has directed that the bell be rung for 10 minutes as provided for in the House Standing Order, to be able to give room to the members of the Senate to join their colleagues in the House, and also enable the House raise that much needed quorum. Since the bell began ringing, we have seen more members making their way into the House, and we believe in a short while that quorum shall be attained. The whips have been out to whip members to get into the chamber for the business to be able to commence. And once that quorum is raised, then that business shall, without any further delay, commence, or the sitting of the Senate shall commence. The Autism Management Bill, this is a bill that is originating from the Senate and sponsored by the Honorable nominated Senator Karen Nyamu. A debate on this particular bill also was concluded on the floor of the Senate. And this afternoon, this is one of the bills that the members are set to consider it at the division stage for it to be read a second time. And this is a bill that basically seeks to provide for the diagnostic management and support of persons with autism. It is a bill that is anchored in the Article 43, or in Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution, which guarantees every individual the right to the highest attainable standard of health. So this particular bill seeks to provide that. The quorum bell has stopped. Let's listen into the speaker.
Clerk, kindly call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator Manzo. Honorable Senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation from the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, KIRDI. KIRDI is a public research institution under the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, whose mandate is to undertake research, development and innovation in industrial and allied technologies and disseminate research findings to support industrial development. The delegation comprises 12 researchers from the institution who are on a benchmarking visit to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged as per the Senate tradition. Dr. Calvin Kisa, the Acting Director General, KIRDI. Dr. Francis Polong, Director, Technology Transfer and Extension Services. Dr. Martha Induli, Director, Industrial Allied Technology Research. Dr. Josephine Akamba, Director, Corporate Services. Mr. Nicodemus Mutinda, Director, Strategy and Planning. Dr. Arthur Onyuka, Assistant Principal Research Scientist. Dr. Linus Kasambo, Assistant Director, Resource Mobilization and Partnerships. Dr. Frederick Musieba, Assistant Principal Research Scientist. Mr. William Mutwiri, Assistant Principal Research Scientist. Ms. Bitutu Nyambane, Senior Research Scientist. Mr. Simbi Mark, Research Scientist. Ms. Sarah Gashi, Principal Communication Officer. On behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful and informative visit. I will allow the Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Sifuna, under 1 minute to extend the word of welcome.
Yeah, our visitors by now have noticed that I'm the most sabotaged senator in this house. My equipment almost always never works. But I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the House to welcome the team from KIRDI. Indeed, this morning I was having a conversation with my team, Honorable Speaker, about the place of industrialization in the development of nations. It has worked in other places, and those of us maybe who have never been in government don't understand why we have not been able to achieve the levels of industrialization that other countries have. And part of the conversation was, and I'm not saying that this might be true in the case of KIRDI, we don't utilize the talent that we have in this country. There are brilliant young Kenyans, brilliant Kenyans in all these spaces, Honorable Speaker. They put out wonderful material about how we can encourage investment in industry, how we can deal with the cost of energy, the sort of infrastructure that we need to put in, the sort of taxation measures that we need to put in to encourage investment in industry. But somehow, when it comes to the implementation, Honorable Speaker, is that we see that maybe all of this knowledge is not going to being put to use. So we are hoping that in future we can have dispensations where there is appreciation of meritocracy and technical know-how to be able to see that some of the research that you're putting out actually finds its way in government policy implementation. So, karibu to the Senate, and I hope that you have a good afternoon. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Fernandi, kindly take your seat. Although also wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 10 teachers and 180 students from Seven Forks Primary School in Embu County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Again, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 5 teachers and 50 students from Gishuru Memorial High School in Kiambu County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon Senator for Kiambu, Senator Karungo Wathangwa, to extend word of welcome to the 2 schools. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Yes, my name is Karongo Wathangwa. I'm a senator. That is PCA Gishoro Memorial High School. Mr. Speaker, the school is in Kikuyu constituency in Gekambura, Karai, and it is a very beautiful school with bright students. And it is a testimony, the school is a testimony that CDF works. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm one of the supporters of CDF. Whenever people say that CDF is not constitutional, I always support CDF because CDF works with or without the MPs. So I take this opportunity to welcome the students, and especially from Embu. I don't know, the speaker gave me that permission to also invite the speakers, the students from Embu. It's a good coincidence.
You may want to allow your colleague to do the honors.
Okay. Now that he's here, Mr. Speaker, I will allow, but I was saying it was a good coincidence because I come from Kiambu, it's with Mbu, and Embu. So you can see we are one people. And that's why I wanted to also welcome them, because the senator is here. He can go ahead and do that. So for the students of Gishoro Memorial, when you go back home, say hello to your parents and tell them I'm still fighting for their rights and development. Thank you.
Senator Mundigi, you may proceed.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kukaribisha shule ya Seven Forks. Seven Forks iko katika Mbeere South, Embu County. Siku ya leo ni karibu sana, umekuja kujifunza ile mambo tunafanya hapa katika Senate. Yangu ni kumwambia karibuni sana, na Bwana Spika ni kusema Seven Forks ni moja ya zile katika Embu County zinafanya kazi nzuri, wanasoma vizuri, na pia ni shule ile imeunganishwa watu wa vijiji na wafanyikazi wa KenGen. Kwa hivyo ningeomba nyinyi mmekuja siku ya leo muweze kuangalia vile tunafanya, tunaongea mambo ya devolution na devolution katika masinani. Yangu ni kumuomba kule katika shule muweze kusoma vizuri, lakini mjiepushe na mambo ya dawa ya kulevya, mambo ya pangi, ndio muweze kuheshimisha hiyo shule, kwa sababu wafanyikazi wa KenGen katika Kenya wanaheshimika. Hiyo KenGen, nikisema mimi nimekaa hapo katika Seven Forks, nimefanya kazi wa KenGen katika hapo miaka 30, na umeona mimi nilikuwa huko na nikakuja hapa, sasa mimi ni senator. Kwa hivyo mkikaa vizuri na mkisoma vizuri, ni nyinyi maseneta, ni nyinyi speaker, ni nyinyi rais. Kwa hivyo ningeomba mkae vizuri. Pia nashukuru KenGen kwa sababu nakumbuka CSR mwaka jana, Bwana Speaker, wakati ndomu ilisomeka, ingawa sio watoto waligoma, ni moto ilisoma hiyo ndomu, lakini bahati mzuri CSR KenGen ilifanya vizuri, ikapeana milioni 850. Kwa hivyo ni asanti, mkirudi nyumbani muweze kujifunza na pia muelimishe wale wengine. Asanti, nimekaribisha nyinyi. Asanti Bwana Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Embu County, the Honorable Alexander Mundigi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, request for statement on the challenges facing mango farmers in Embu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I ask person to Standing Order 53-1 to check a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on matter of county-wide concern regarding the challenges facing mango farmers in Embu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, mango farming is a critical economic activity and major sources of livelihood for many residents of Embu County, particularly in Karurumo, Kanyuambora, Betty North, Betty South, Mafuria, and Idhawa ones. Despite the sector great potential, farmers continue to face significant challenges, especially during harvesting seasons, due to inadequate and unreliable market, leading to a substantial post-harvest losses and low returns. In the statement, the committee should address the following: plans by the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Industry to expand local and international market for mango produce to caution farmers against the loss caused by the market shortages during pack seasons. 2. Whether the ministry can allocate all mobilized funds to establish at least 2 mango processing factories in Embu County to promote value addition, create jobs, and support the production of mango-based product for local and export market. Whether the ministry has considered supporting the installation of modern provisioning, processing, and cold storage facilities to reduce part harvest losses and wastages during period of oversupply. Whether a farmer work exists to cooperation between the ministry and the county government of Embu to address market-related challenges affecting mango farmers and strengthen the county's mangoes value addition. Senator Mundigi, Embu County.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B. The Chairperson Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration, or any member from that committee. That statement is deferred. Now, statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, the Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Statement number 13 of 2026. Statement by the Senate Majority Leader on the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday 9th June 2026, pursuant to Standing Order 57-1. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, I hereby present the business for the week commencing Tuesday 9th June 2026. Before I proceed to make the statement, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome honorable senators back from the recess period. Mr. Speaker, sir, with respect to the business before the Senate, the status is as follows. 1. 62 bills are pending conclusion, of which 41 are at second reading, 20 are at committee of the whole, and 1 is awaiting first reading. 2. 14 motions are pending conclusion. 3. 18 petitions are pending conclusion by respective standing committees of these petitions. 15 are due for reporting, and 494 statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 are under consideration by respective standing committees. As indicated in today's order paper, at order paper number 10, 11, 12, 3 bills are pending division at second reading, while at order number 13 to 22, 10 bills at the committee of the whole stage are likewise pending division. I request the party whips to mobilize the requisite delegations for the divisions to be undertaken. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the next sitting of the Senate on Tuesday, 9th June 2026, the tentative business for the day will include business not concluded from today's order paper, as well as the business indicated in the notice paper. The tentative business for the morning sittings on Wednesday, 10th June 2026, will include questions to Cabinet Secretaries as approved by the Senate Business Committee, as well as motions. The questions scheduled include those to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, and Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. Mr. Speaker, sir, the tentative business for the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 10th June 2026 will include business not concluded on Tuesday's order paper and the following. Bills at second reading. 1. The Agriculture and Food Authority Amendment Bill, Senate number 13 of 2023. The County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2024. The Street Naming and Property Addressing System Bill, Senate Bills 43 of 2024. And finally, the County Government Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2025. Bills at Committee of the Whole. 1. The Seeds and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill, Senate number 4 of 2025. The Sports Amendment Bill, Senate number 33 of 2024. The Electronic Equipment Disposal, Recycling and Reuse Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2025. The Culture Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2024. The Health Amendment Bill, Senate number 12 of 2025. The Agriculture Produce Minimum Guaranteed Returns Bill, number 17 of 2025, and the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 15 of 2025. Motions. The report of the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on sessional paper number 1 of 2025 on the foreign policy of the Republic of Kenya, and the report of the Liaison Committee on the activities and operations of select committees during the third session 2024. The projected business for Thursday, 11th June 2026 will include business not concluded on the order paper of Wednesday, 10th June 2026, and any other business scheduled by the Senate Business Committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you and hereby lay the statement on the table of the Senate. Senator Majority Leader Alon Cheriot, 4th June 2026. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Karungo Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to request a statement. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the protection of property rights and security of residents of Two Rivers Crescent Estate in Ruiru, Kiambu County, following reports of harassment, intimidation, and threatened unlawful eviction. Mr. Speaker, sir, residents of Two Rivers Crescent Estate in Ruiru state that they are bona fide purchasers of parcels of land acquired from the estate of the late James Kanyotu, and that they hold valid ownership documents. However, their ownership and occupation of the land has been challenged by one Mr. Willie Kihara Njoki, who claims to be the sole beneficiary of the estate and disputes the legality of the previous land transactions. The dispute has escalated into threats, intimidation, destruction of property, and attempts to forcibly evict the residents. The affected residents further state that their complaints to law enforcement agencies have not resulted in adequate protection or investigations. There are also concerns regarding missing or unavailable land records at the Ministry of Lands, which has further complicated the dispute and undermined public confidence in land administration systems. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The legal status of the parcels of land in question, including verification of ownership records, the validity of title documents held by the residents, and the status of succession and administration of the estates of the late James Kanyotu. 2. The circumstances under which Mr. Willie Kihara Njoki is asserting ownership over the land, including whether he is a legally recognized beneficiary or administrator of the estate, and the basis upon which he is disputing the previous sale of the land. 3. The status and integrity of land records relating to the disputed parcels, including an explanation for any missing, inaccessible, or unavailable records at the Ministry of Lands. 4. The action taken by the National Police Service and the Director of Criminal Investigations on complaints lodged by the residents regarding threats, intimidation, destruction of property, and attempted unlawful evictions. 5. The immediate measures being taken to secure the affected residents, prevent further harassment or evictions, and uphold the rule of law. And number 6, the measures being implemented by the Ministry of Lands to protect innocent purchasers for value and prevent similar land disputes, fraudulent claims, loss of land records, and unlawful dispossession in future. Mr. Speaker, I, Senator Karungo Adhango of Kiambu, I request.
Senator Hezena.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the implementation and transparency of the school feeding program. Mr. Speaker, sir, the National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya, NCONEK, is a semi-autonomous agency under the Ministry of Education. A semi-autonomous agency under the Ministry of Education is the primary implementer of school feeding programs targeting food insecure and marginalized communities in arid and semi-arid lands, with the aim of supporting vulnerable populations affected by drought, food insecurity, and other humanitarian challenges. Given the substantial public resources invested in this program, there is a need for transparency and accountability in the sourcing, allocation, and distribution of food supplies to ensure that assistance reaches the intended beneficiaries and that public funds are utilized prudently and effectively. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the criteria used by the Ministry of Education to identify beneficiary counties, sub-counties, and communities under the feeding program, including the basis for food allocations and whether distribution priorities are linked to National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF allocations. 2, the total quantity and value of food commodities procured and distributed under the program to date, detailing allocations and distributions by county and the number of beneficiaries reached. 3, the sources of food commodities, including supplier details, procurement procedures followed, the measures taken to ensure compliance with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. 4th, the accountability, monitoring, and reporting mechanisms in place to track the movement, storage, and distribution of food commodities and to prevent diversion, loss, wastage, or misuse. 5th, the measures adapted to ensure transparency, equity, and inclusivity in food distribution, particularly in marginalized and arid and semi-arid areas, and to ensure all eligible beneficiaries are reached fairly and without discrimination or favorism. Senator Ezena Lemaletian, dated 4th of June, 2026. Thank you.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the transition rate in the competency-based curriculum in Kenya. Speaker, while the CBC was introduced in line with Kenya's Vision 2030 and global workforce needs to equip learners with practical skills and reduce reliance on high-stakes examinations, its success is undermined if learners drop out before completing transitions, exposing them to risks such as child labor and early marriages. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, detailed statistics on the inaugural CBC cohort from 2017, showing how many learners progressed to grade 10 in 2026, the mop-up operation efforts to trace, rehabilitate, and safeguard learners who dropped out, including measures to ensure their well-being, and lastly, Speaker, sustainable strategies to address systemic challenges such as financial barriers that force learners out of the education system. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, Foreign Relations on matters of urgent national importance concerning the country's preparedness for the anticipated Super El Nino conditions and associated extreme weather risks. Mr. Speaker, sir, recent advisories from international and national meteorological agencies, including warning by the United Nations through the World Meteorological Organization, indicate a high likelihood of the onset and intensification of Super El Nino in the coming months. The United Nations has cautioned that such an event could trigger severe and widespread climate extremes, including intense rainfall, catastrophic flooding, landslide, and significant humanitarian impact, particularly in vulnerable regions. These projected conditions pose a serious and immediate threat to livelihood, infrastructure, and national stability. The country risks experiencing heavy rainfall, flash floods, strong winds, displacements of communities, destruction of property, disruption of transport networks, damage to the public infrastructure, disease outbreak, and interruptions of economic activities on a potentially unprecedented scale. Kenya has previously endured the devastating consequences of inadequate preparedness during period of intense rainfall. In Nairobi County and other vulnerable urban areas, flooding has resulted in loss of lives, destructions of homes, displacement of roads, bridges, drainage systems, and public utilities. These experiences demonstrate that early warnings, when not matched with decisive and coordinated action, expose citizens to avoidable sufferings and loss. Mr. Speaker, sir, of particular and urgent concerns are floods-prone counties and regions where access roads, bridges, drainage systems, and emergency responses infrastructure remain inadequate or fragile. In Narok County, for instance, areas such as Narok West, Emuru-Dikir, and Narok South face a real risk of being cut off when river swells and crossings are submerged. Critical access points, including the Double Cross area and the Mara Bridge within the Masai Mara ecosystems, require immediate assessment, reinforcement, and contingency planning to prevent the isolation of communities, tourists, hospital facilities, emergency responders, and essential service providers. In the statement, the committee should urgently address the following. 1. The immediate and medium national preparedness measures in place to mitigate the anticipated effect of Super El Nino, including the level of coordinations among the Ministry of Interior, the National Administration County, Security.
Senator Olekena, stick to the version that I approved.
It's the one I'm reading.
No, you're reading from your phone.
Because it's much clearer. This one, the font is so small.
No, I can follow.
Okay.
The font in your phone is much, much smaller.
I can make it bigger, Mr. Speaker. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, let me just try to finish it. Sasa umefanya hata nisahau. Kwani you guys are the speakers now? Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I'll try my best, but the font here is like very small.
Try your best, please.
I'll try my best. Now, where am I? In the statement, the committee should urgently address the following. The immediate and medium-term national preparedness measures in place to mitigate the anticipated effect of Super El Nino, including the levels of coordinations among the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, County Security Committee, county governments, and the Kenya Meteorological Department disaster response agencies and community-level structures. 2. The identification, mapping, and real monitoring of high-risk areas across the country, and urgent measures being undertaken to secure and protect critical infrastructure, including drainage systems, culvert bridges, access roads, river crossing, security installation, health facilities, and emergency access routes, particularly in vulnerable counties such as Narok, Nairobi, and other floods-prone regions. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the state of readiness of emergency responses and evacuations plan, including the adequacy and accessibility of resource allocated towards disaster preparedness responses and logistical support necessary for sustained emergency operations. 4, Mr. Speaker, the concrete measures being implemented to safeguard local economies and livelihood, including tourism in the Masai Mara, agriculture, livestock. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, there is a savior here. Now it's clear. Finally, the concrete measures being implemented to safeguard local economies and livelihood, including tourism in the Masai Mara, agriculture, livestock, transport, small and medium enterprises, and other sectors of high risk of disruption due to flooding, infrastructure damage, and restricted mobility. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. And therefore, if you have an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. The Honorable Senator for Nandi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. Just a few comments on the statement brought by Senator Karungo Adang of Kiambu on the Crescent Two Rivers Estate, where more than 100 families, over 35 acres in Ruiru town. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate because most Kenyans, including us in this house, you sacrifice so much to acquire property. But it looks like the title deed is now a piece of paper, Mr. Speaker. How is it that the residents of Two Rivers Crescent in Ruiru town in Kiambu County live at the mercy of goons, Mr. Speaker? You know, the other day we were discussing about goons in our politics, but it looks like there are goons in property, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that these residents, Mr. Speaker, have sale agreements? They bought it from the former spy chief Kanyotu. They have every documentation to show ownership and possession. They have built their houses, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. At least title deed should mean something in this country. And unfortunately, I want to call out, Mr. Speaker, the Inspector General of Police and OCS and OCPD of Ruiru Police, Mr. Speaker, because when goons attack these families, Mr. Speaker, they fail to go and give them the necessary support, Mr. Speaker. And they are also taxpayers' money. So the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kancha, must be called to order, Mr. Speaker. He must ensure that there is protection. This issue of goons will come and eat this nation, Mr. Speaker. It's a cancer. If we cannot stop in politics, if we cannot stop in issues of property that we are seeing in Two Rivers Crescent, Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. And police must know, as by the slogan, utumishi kwa wote, service to all, Mr. Speaker. And even the Minister of Interior, C.S. Murkomen, must be called to order, Mr. Speaker, because this is a lack of foresight, lack of leadership, Mr. Speaker. He must ensure the residents of Crescent, Ruiru Estate must be protected, Mr. Speaker. Finally, on Senator Mundigi, on the issue of mangoes, Mr. Speaker, there is a problem, Mr. Speaker, and we were discussing today in one of the shows, Mr. Speaker, that farmers in this country still have a long way to go, Mr. Speaker. Even as the tea farmers, we are suffering, Mr. Speaker. The issue of bonuses, the issue of pricing. Mr. Speaker, are you aware? There are more than 9 million kilos of tea that is supposed to be auctioned in Mombasa, but it has not been auctioned, Mr. Speaker. What is the net effect? The net effect that it will affect the bonus and prices of tea farmers in this country, where 80% of my farmers grow tea in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. And even farmers of mango, farmers of nasi, Mr. Speaker, and any other farmers, including of milk and any other dairy farmers, Mr. Speaker, we must stand with them and ensure they get rightful because they feed nation, with this nation. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, allow me to give back and my support.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And I think that I want to appreciate Senator Ledama Olekina for bringing this statement, because we have seen time without number in this country when there is disaster looming and disaster coming, and there is no serious preparedness, there is no readiness, and there is no organization at the national level and at the county level. Even the formation of multi teams that can be able to coordinate between counties and the national, because we know that disaster in this country is something that should be able to have serious coordination between the national government and the county government, because these realities are affecting us at the grassroots level. Between where Senator Dama comes from and where I come from, there's a river called Bogor River, just outside the president's house. And Mr. Speaker, it connects a lot of people in Lolgorian area coming all the way to Narok, and even if you go all the way to Kilgoris and Migori. That bridge is cut every single disaster time. The Maasai, the Kuria, the Luo from that area cannot do business And if you look at that area, the cornerstone of all the production that this country is depending on comes from that area. Mr. Speaker, as I'm speaking to you right now, Migori County is border number 3 in the country in terms of connecting Tanzania and actually all the southern country to our country, Mr. Speaker. Do you know that for 3 months now, since the Migori River Bridge was cut, there has not been a proper response to be able to mitigate the problem that we are facing with that place. So it means that every trucks that are coming with goods from all the way from Mariakani, going to the South Africa, going to Mozambique, going to the southern part of this country, Mr. Speaker, cannot be able to be efficiently transported. In fact, the damage is so bad to the extent that the little roads that we now have in Migori County, Mr. Speaker, that we have made with small money we get from Migori County government, with small bitumen here and there, now are equally being damaged because the trailers that are supposed to take goods to Tanzania, are supposed to take goods to Mozambique, now are getting rerouted to small county roads. And Mr. Speaker, you know how we have fought so much for RMLF to be given to counties to maintain roads. So the issue of disaster management, Mr. Speaker, is something that we must take very seriously because they affect our county's economic architecture directly. So what Senator Lama has put here should probably be given priority by the relevant committee to the extent that, if possible, the hand of the Senate must be in the preparedness that could come because of this El Nino. I support and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
So, Speaker, thank you. I wanted to support the statement by the Honorable Mundigi on mangoes. Mr. Speaker, the problem that Mr. Honorable Senator Mundigi is raising is for the markets of mango is similar to what we have in Tana River. First point I want the committee to look at is why is it that sugar, tea, and coffee are given such heavy government support in terms of markets, and mangoes are discriminated, Mr. Speaker. I want, Mr. Speaker, the committee to have a clear discussion. Why is it that 63 years after independence, you are still favoring mangoes, you are still favoring tea, sugar, and coffee, and then you are not looking at mangoes? Mr. Speaker, in Tana River County, for example, we are suffering because even the effort that the ministry did was a fake effort. Coast Development Authority misled the president into opening a factory that was supposed to be crushing mangoes. I attended that function, Mr. Speaker. It was pomp and color. They said that they will be crushing 1.5 million 1.5 metric tons, Mr. Speaker, of mangoes every day. Mr. Speaker, to date, since the day the president was there, it has not worked. It started operating in 2017. On 4th of April 2023, the president commissioned it, but it has not functioned. They said they would be producing mango juice, mango pulp, and it's not working. Mr. Speaker, 245 million was spent on that plant, but it is not benefiting the Galole farmers at Boji. That food factory that was supposed to be working with Coast Development Authority has not functioned. So, Mr. Speaker, I am calling upon the committee, when they are looking at the markets for mangoes, they should expand their investigation to cover counties, not only Embu, but also Tana River, so that, you know, Mr. Speaker, the people of Kenya may know the truth. The Tana River people may know the truth. The farmers whose mangoes are rotting in their farms may know the truth. How can a factory be existing in Tana River County? How can the president be able to open such a factory? 245 million put there, and the mango farmers, they don't have a market for it.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to make very brief comments on the statement that has been brought to the House by Senator Ledamo Lekina on the emerging El Nino threat. Mr. Speaker, the Secretary General of the United Nations said that every citizen must have access to early warning systems. The warning has been given, but we seem not to be doing anything. From where we sit, where we look at the preparedness of counties from a financial perspective, we must now encourage and push the message that the emergency funds, the disaster funds must be activated, because that has already been provided for in law. And Mr. Speaker, this country is going to have interesting problems sometimes out of our own making, problems from global shocks. We're already seeing the effects of the Iran war on fuel prices. We're already seeing the effects of the Ebola pandemic, even on the politics of this country. And if El Nino comes, I hope it's not going to be the final straw that breaks the camel's back. Mr. Speaker, Senator who sits behind me, I've forgotten her name just at this very moment, Ezena Lemaletian, has talked about the Council for Nomadic Education. Mr. Speaker, it must be known that nomadic education does not apply only to the Asal and northern Kenya. Even we, the people of the lake, we are fishermen, we are nomadic fishermen, and we want this council to give us that food. And Mr. Speaker, it is wrong that the nomadic fishermen, because we move from Mfangano to Takawiri to Remba to Kiwa to Rusinga, and we go all the way to Sigulu in Uganda and other islands of Tanzania in search of fish. We must also be given this food so that our children can stay in school, and then we come back home. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the relief, the food that is being used by some of our colleagues, members of parliament out there, which they are distributing to people, Mr. Speaker, we should not use government relief for personal bonga points. Mr. Speaker, we must also ask ourselves how the relief food moved from the Ministry of East African Community, ASALs and Regional Development, a ministry that is run by an expert from ODM, and that mandate was sent to the Ministry of Public Service and Human Resource Capital Development. If it was necessary for some elections somewhere, then it needs to be brought back to the relevant ministry. Finally, on Senator Sifuna's statement, Mr. Speaker, I am a CBC parent, and I am extremely concerned that this CBC favors children in private institutions at the expense of government.
Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza kabisa nataka kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa na Karongo Dhangwa kuhusu mgogoro wa shamba ambalo linajulikana kama Crescent Estate pale Two Rivers. Bwana Spika, jambo hili la migogoro ya mashamba limekuwa ni jambo sugu, na huyu ambaye anajulikana kama Willy Kihara ametajwa hapa, na si sehemu hiyo peke yake. Bwana Spika, ukienda wote upande wa Imani Ruiru, amekuwa na haya mambo ya kufuatilia mambo ya mashamba, ambayo hawa watu ambao wanataka kuwafukuza na vile vile kuwaletea wakora waweze kuwahangaisha. Bwana Spika, hawa wana hati miliki za mashamba. Wengi wao hata wamechukua, Bwana Spika, mikopo na zile hati miliki za mashamba. Kwa hivyo wana haki kisheria kuishi katika zile sehemu. Hawa watu tayari wameripoti hawa wakora na majangili ambao wanawasumbua, lakini maafisa wa usalama ama maafisa wa ujasusi hakuna jambo lolote wamelichukua, hatua yote ambao wamechukua. Kwa hivyo kamati inayohusika, Bwana Spika, inapaswa iangazie jambo hili kwa kindani, mapana na marefu, ndio aweze kuleta uwiano katika jamii. Bwana Spika, Bwana Spika, kuhusu chakula ambacho kinapeanwa katika shule na taarifa iliyoletwa na Hezena, Bwana Spika, kunapaswa kuwe na watu wawe kuna usawa. Bwana Spika, chakula hiki Bwana Spika, katika wizara ambayo imepelekwa Bwana Spika, sasa kimekuwa kitumiwa badala ya watu kupewa wale wanaohitajika kupewa, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu katika kamati ambayo sisi tunashughulikia, kamati ya elimu, Bwana Spika, katika shule zile za chekechea tumeona shule ambazo watoto wanapewa chakula, tunaona idadi ya watoto ambao wanajisajili katika hizi shule za chekechea kinaongezeka, Bwana Spika. Lakini tukiangalia vile ambavyo chakula hiki ambacho kinapeanwa katika shule za msingi na vile vile kimepeanwa katika wizara, hii wizara, Bwana Spika, haishughulikii kuwapatia watoto wanaofaa chakula, Bwana Spika. Hiki chakula sasa kinatumika, Bwana Spika, cha kufanya siasa. Kinapelekwa sehemu watu wanaitwa, watu ambao hata wahitaji chakula, Bwana Spika, lakini unawaita, unawaambia utawapatia chakula, na watu ambao hawahitaji ile chakula, lakini wanakuja kwa sababu Wakenya wengi wanapenda, na ni watu wengi, Bwana Spika, wanapenda kitu cha bwerere. Kwa hivyo wanaitwa, wanapewa ile mchele, wanapewa mafuta ambayo ingetumika katika shule mahali ambapo kuna hitajika. Chakula kama hiki, Bwana Spika, kinapaswa kuletwa mahali kunaitwa kwetu, mahali kuna ukame.
Senator Sifuna.
First, I want to tell my brother, Senator Kajwang, that when you have an important function like a wedding, make sure you get your own coat, because you don't go to a wedding with somebody else's coat. You can be told to remove it at any point. He knows what I'm talking about. Honorable Speaker, allow me to just make brief comments on the statement that has been brought by Senator Ledamo Lekina. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, we have all to be gravely concerned about the specter of El Nino, and we have to be a country that listens to experts. Previous experiences with the serious flooding, Honorable Speaker, in 2023-24, for instance, we lost over 300 lives, and there was almost 50,000 people displaced in many countries. Of course, we in Nairobi here bore the brunt. I remember in 2023, Senator Ledama, we were in this house with you when we were discussing whether, in fact, there was any level of preparedness in Nairobi. You remember there were fights between the national government and the county governments over where the money for emergency should be domiciled. We saw national government come to the residents of Madare, for instance, make certain promises, and then they were never fulfilled. So I think now that we have a proper time lead on this one, the warnings are there, the science is in, there will be no excuse for the national government and the county governments if they don't get their act together. In fact, we want to be told the national government must now tell us or publish a comprehensive El Nino preparedness response plan. We want to know what to do in the event of certain happenings. We want to see emergency evacuation centers being set up, and all of us should know where those things are. And lastly, Senator Ledama, because when things like this happen, some people take advantage and see a gravy train. We want proper transparency and accountability for any monies that will be utilized in handling this El Nino problem. As a final comment, Honorable Speaker, on the statement by Senator Mundigi, you know, it's not only the farmers in Embu. The other week, I think we were here when the senator from Kirinyaga, the Honorable Murango, was talking about the rice farmers in Mwea and in Ahero, because people have been allowed to import, rice without a care to the farmers in Mwea and these other places. We were in Bungoma last week with the Honorable Khalwale and the Honorable Koni Wakabubi. I don't know if they got opportunity, but I did to speak to the farmers at Nzoia. Honorable Speaker, even now as we speak, Nzoia Sugar Company is not producing sugar. They have imported sugar, and it is full in their godowns. And that now, Honorable Speaker, we were sugarcane farmers. We are being told that you need a permit for your sugarcane to be cut, and to get that or to be harvested. And when you go looking for that permit, Honorable Speaker, you know what it means. You have to grease palms. When did we get to a place? You know, there was a time, Honorable Koni Wakwabubi, when companies used to fight for sugarcane. But because these companies are not interested in milling our sugarcane, they have already imported sugarcane. They are no longer interested in our...
Senator Roba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to contribute to this issue of impending El Nino. That is the global warming system that has been reported in the Pacific Ocean that is expected to really be one of the worst since the late 1800s. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Senator Olekina for bringing this issue to light, even on social media, because there is an issue of grave concern considering there is no discussion in the country, not in the national platform, not in Kenya Meteorological Service, not in the budgetary provision in terms of some impending emergency that's likely to happen anytime after October globally. And the predictions that it's going to affect East Africa. And globally the discussion is that it is the worst since 97 or thereabout. If that is the case, then there should be an air of emergency planning around this issue by every department, the county government, the national government, and the county governments are ill prepared, Mr. Speaker, for preparing adequately for a response of such magnitude. It requires a drive by the national government, bringing on board also the county government, and also setting aside resources, because it is not about whether or not it's going to happen. The discussion by the global weather system has already indicated it's going to happen. Mr. Speaker, it is extremely important as leaders in this country that we really bring this issue, as an issue that should be in the discussion of everybody. Nairobi City County that is overrun by small floods in all the time should prepare by making sure they unclog and open all the drainage systems and improve where it becomes necessary. The national government must really look at the low-lying grounds like Tana River, where small rains ground the production in Tana River and displace the population there. Areas, flatlands of northern Kenya, where even heavy rains incapacitate the little resources we have in terms of destruction of livelihood support programs like animals, human beings are displaced and such issues. Mr. Speaker, it is critical as Senate Future Caucus team, we really need to pick it up and run with it, because that's the only way we can catalyze what is going to happen. Mr. Speaker, also on NACONEC, if there are concerns that are raised by Senator Lemalatian, it's extremely critical that a transparent distribution of how this NACONEC support is affecting the ASALs and the nomadic community be availed completely in order to make sure that people have...
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Briefly, Mr. Speaker, let me make brief comments on the statement brought by Senator Karungo Thanga on the displacement, or rather the threats that a group of Kenyans are facing in Ruiru. Mr. Speaker, it is very sad, and I wish Senator Kamaru was here, because Senator Kamaru was telling me a story of an individual who uses the lands office to be able to change the title deeds and put title deeds on top of a new title deed. And she almost lost her land. Reading the statement by Senator Thangu, it's a similar situation, where this issue of succession, when they know that somebody is very rich, they sell land. After they are gone and the family having quabbles, then a smart individual who is connected to the Ministry of Land now start using his position to threaten Kenyans and kick them out of their land. Mr. Speaker, I really believe that Senator Faki will deal with this statement and make sure that he brings the DCI, the National Police, and the Ministry of Land, and also that individual, Willie, who is selling land that has already been sold. That matter must be dealt with. On a second statement, Mr. Speaker, it is sad that when we have nomadic children, this statement by Senator Hezana Lemalatia, when we have food which is supposed to feed kids so that they can remain in school, now that food is being used as a business. Seriously. What do I don't even know the word to use, but it's like we were cast. Anyone, when you see a situation like this, you just want to make some money out of it. Even food which is supposed to help bring some form of equity. It is sad. And even moving a service which is supposed to be offered by a particular ministry to another. I mean, it's criminal. So, Mr. Speaker, I think I need to drink water. But at least I can be able to drink water. Now, when this food, which is supposed to be given to poor kids to support their families, we don't even understand the accountability of that food, the distribution mechanism, the sourcing of that food. It is criminal. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this statement by Senator Hezana, and I hope that we can be able to really take these matters very seriously to ensure a clear system of accountability. One that if you take your iPad or your laptop and you go online, you can actually be able to trace where the food came from. Not. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakoli.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii. Kwanza ni kuchangia hoja ya Mheshimiwa Olekina kuhusiana na kujiandaa kwa janga la El Nino. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, tukipiga tu kurunzi katika kaunti za humu Kenya, moto umekuwa unateketeza mabweni, watu wamekuwa na bebwa kwa maji ya mafuriko. Lakini tukifanya udadisi kujiandaa kwa magatuzi yetu ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Spika, wale ambao wamekuwa wanahudhuria vikao vya Mheshimiwa Kajwang' wakiangalia jinsi wanatumia fedha, kitengo cha kupambana na mikasa ya dharura katika magatuzi yetu yamewekewa pesa nyingi, lakini ukienda mashinani pesa hazionekani. Ni kana kwamba kula kwao ndio dharura na changamoto za dharura. Sasa naomba tuamulike hawa magavana kwa sababu wanachukua mzaha majanga ili kujidufaisha wenyewe. Jambo lingine Mheshimiwa Spika ni kuhusiana na mchakato mzima wa maembe. Nataraji kwamba magatuzi yamepewa kile tunasema maeneo ya viwanda na ukuzaji wa viwanda. Na magavana lazima wawe na nyenzo ambazo zinaleta malighafi, kuleta mpunga, kuleta parachichi katika maeneo haya ili kuwe na uwezo wa kuhakikisha bidhaa hizi zinaenda katika soko. Sasa ni kinaya kwamba magavana wanataka serikali ya Nairobi iendelee kuwasaidia ili hali wako na pesa. Na lazima tuwasukume kwa sababu kama kaunti ya Mheshimiwa Mundigi ni 90%. Kule Bungoma zaidi ya milioni 200 zimezama. Tunangoja tuone zikifufuka na hatuoni. Lakini huku wanazunguka wakiinua vidole, wengine kimoja, wengine viwili, na Wakenya wanapiga miayo, hawajui watapata ruzuku wapi. Mwisho nikisema, wakulima wa miwa wana haki kushughulikiwa na serikali. Wakulima wa mpunga wana haki kushughulikiwa na serikali. Wakulima wa makadamia wana haki ya kushughulikiwa na serikali. Vile vile wale ambao wanafuga ngamia wana haki. Sasa mimi naomba viongozi wenzangu, tukiwa hapa, tetea tu kile unataka kutetea. Hata sisi tutakuunga mkono. Lakini usitumie miwa kama nyenzo ya kujitetea wewe na sisi watu wetu waendelee kuumia katika mkoa wa Magharibi. Yale Mheshimiwa Sifuna amesema, kamati ya ukulima tumekuwa Bungoma, taasisi ya ufisadi, wale ambao wa Wizara ya Kilimo, magavana, maseneta walikuwa hapa, tunalivalia njuga swala hilo. Sasa wakulima msinyamaze, Wakenya msinyamaze, paza sauti. Sisi kama maseneta tutatembea na nyinyi kuhakikisha fedha za ushuru wenu zinafanya kazi jinsi inavyo.
Senator Mazaya.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kumpatia kongole ndugu yangu Olekina kwa sababu ya kuleta taarifa hii ambayo inahusikana na kamati ya usalama wa nchi. Hususan taarifa hii ameangazia swala la El Nino ambao ni mvua nyingi isiyo ya kawaida ndani ya nchi yetu ya Kenya. Si mara ya kwanza, si mara ya pili tumepatikana na janga hili la El Nino. Wanaspika, janga la El Nino likija linakuja na maafa mengi na madhara mengi ambayo yanaweza kutatiza ama huwa yanatatiza maisha ama ukaaji wa Wakenya. Nikisema hivyo bwana Spika, ni kwamba maeneo kama Nairobi, maeneo kama Trans Nzoia, kuhali kama Bundalangi na vile vile maeneo kama kule Kilifi, ni maeneo ambayo huwa sana sana yanaathirika wakati huu wa El Nino ama wakati wa mvua nyingi. Bwana Spika, katika taarifa hii ndugu yangu ameeleza mambo mengi sana, lakini cha umuhimu, mimi mwenyewe nishakwenda Masai Mara na utaona ya kwamba hivi sasa vile barabara ilivyo kule iko juu chini, na kama El Nino itakuja basi ile barabara huenda ikasombwa kabisa. Na kitu kizuri ni kwamba ikiwa itaangaliwa na mapema na misingi itengenezwe ili mvua iweze, hata ikiwa itakuja nyingi, ipite na kando, lakini isipite upande ule wa ile bridge, ingekuwa vizuri sana. Manake barabara hiyo inasaidia sana kutoka Kekorok ikienda mpaka Serena katika Masai Mara Game Reserve, huwa kuna uharibifu wa hali ya juu sana. Na sasa ikiwa itakuwa namna hiyo, pia ita affect ama pia itahusika sana na vile ambavyo mapato ya upande wa utalii yatakuwa yameregea katika hali ya sufuri. Bwana Spika, nikisema hivyo ni kwamba maeneo ya pwani pia ni maeneo ambayo lazima yazingatiwe zaidi, kuanzia Tana River. Ukienda Tana River ama ukienda Kilifi, ukienda Kwale, hata ukienda Taita Taveta, ni maeneo ambayo yanakumbwa vibaya sana na mambo ya El Nino. Nikisema namna hiyo, Bwana Spika, ni kwamba madaraja mbalimbali hususan maeneo kama ya Magarini sana sana huwa yanakumbwa vibaya mpaka watu wanakufa, wanatekwa na maji wanaenda. Kwa hiyo tahadhari kama hii ingekuwa muhimu kwamba kila mtu ndani ya taifa la Kenya aweze kuelezwa popote pale alipo, na wale watu ambao wanatangaza hali ya anga ama wanaweza kusaidia, serikali yenyewe ijihusishe ya kwamba hakuna Mkenya atapoteza maisha kwa sababu ya El Nino. Hii ni nchi ambayo mara nyingi tumeona, ukiangalia pande wa Bundalangi wengi.
Now, honorable senators, before I call the next senator to give his comments, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 2 teachers and 38 students from Mangu High School in Kiambu County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 4 teachers and 47 students from Mutitu Secondary School in Kirinyaga County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senate Minority Leader to extend a word of welcome to these 2 schools.
Asante Mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, nataka pia mimi nijiungane na wewe kwa kuwakaribisha hawa walimu wawili na vijana ambao wamekuja katika bunge letu la Senate ili kuweza kuona utekelezaji wa kazi ya Senate ama majukumu ambayo Senate huwa wanayafanya wakati wakiwa katika hizo kazi zao. Bwana Spika, kitu cha kwanza ni kwamba walimu hawa nataka kuwapatia kongole kwa kuja hapa. Na cha pili vile vile wameweza kuona vile tunaweza kufanya mijadala yetu hapa na kazi zinazoendelea hapa ni kutetea na kuona ya kwamba kaunti zetu zimeweza kupata pesa. Ni kitu cha umuhimu kuona ya kwamba wakati wakiwa wanarudi nyumbani baada ya ziara yao katika Senate ni kwamba wamejifundisha mambo mengi na wataweza kurudi nyumbani wakijua ya kwamba wamejifundisha mengi kutoka katika bunge la Senate, na hiyo ndio kadri tunavyotakana kufanya kazi. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator Chebret.
Okay, thank you Mr. Speaker for the opportunity you have given me to make a statement and support, to make a comment and support a statement that has been read by Honorable Azena on matters school feeding program, especially those schools from nomadic communities and arid and semi-arid lands. It is a matter of serious concern, Mr. Speaker, and it needs serious intervention. Mr. Speaker, my county, Baringo, where I represent, is among the counties that is 70% of the area is covered by arid and semi-arid lands. And also Elgeyo Marakwet, my neighboring county, West Pokot, Turkana, and Samburu. And Mr. Speaker, if not this feeding program take place in the counties I've mentioned, then you wonder, where does the school feeding program exist? If not Baringo, if not Samburu, if not Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot, and other counties that are arid and semi-arid lands. Mr. Speaker, again in Baringo, due to heavy rains that we witnessed in the month of April, May, and June, several schools have been forced to close. Some have been forced to shift their original places because due to rise in water increment in water bodies like Baringo, the schools like Loruk, Kambisamaki, Mugutani, and Kiserian, they have been closed due to water rise. And we expect the school feeding program to give a support to the schools I've mentioned. But as we speak, Mr. Speaker, we have never seen their support. As a Ministry of Education and also the Department of School Feeding Program, as a House and leadership, we need to intervene and make sure that things are put in order. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on the statement made by senators here, starting with Mundigi's statement about the mangles, which are being destroyed by wild animals. Mr. Speaker, this is across the country because, like in Machakos, we have so many mangles trees and mango fruits and avocado trees and avocado fruits which go into waste. As you know, Mr. Speaker, once mangoes are ripe or avocado, they just go bad immediately, almost immediately. There is no way the farmers can preserve them to sell at a later date. So I'm calling upon the committee that the statement will be committed to check across the country and see where mango trees are planted and avocados, that the Ministry of Tourism and Trade can intervene and maybe build factories in each and every county, and also look for markets outside the country, because our farmers are very active. They do a lot of work and they just labor for no good reason because everything goes into waste. As Zena has also talked about the food for schools, schools are suffering, and like many of us have commented, is that many of the food that is given for schools is being supplied to people who are able to buy even food and eat, and there are children, a lot of children suffering in schools. Also, teachers. There are not enough teachers in most of the schools. We were just with the governor for Wajir, and he was complaining that even ECDE teachers are teaching in primary school, which should not be the case. The government should just employ teachers and deploy them to where they are supposed to go. Also, about El Nino that is expected to rain. It will not only be in those dry areas, it is all over the country. And so the proper measures should be taken so that our people will not die of rain, because this rain should be a blessing and not a distraction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. We have long spent the 15 minutes that I had given to this session. We will now move to the next order. However, before we move to the next order, allow me to make this communication. Now, Honorable Senators, as you will recall, during the afternoon sitting of Senate held on Wednesday, 3rd of June 2026, while commenting on a statement sought by Senator Hamida Kibwana MP regarding the rise in the cases of missing children in the country, and that of Senator Danson Mungatana MP regarding the debate, the decade-long ban on night-time travel for public service vehicles along the Malindi-Garsen-Lamu Highway, the Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna MP, stated as follows. Recently, on this question of Ebola, even after our courts put a hold to that project, until we give proper answers to Kenyans, our government does not care. They're going on with the project. Reports show that activities are going on in there, and nobody is bothered that our own courts in this country stopped that particular project until we give answers to Kenyans. It is at this point that the Senator for Nandi County, the Honorable Samson Cherange MP, rose on a point of order pursuant to Standing Order 105, challenging Senator Sifuna to substantiate his allegations that activities at Laikipia Air Base, which is a protected area, were ongoing. I therefore directed Honorable Senator Sifuna to substantiate his remarks as required under Standing Order 105.1. Honorable Senators, as you are aware, Standing Order 105 states, and I quote, "A senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. If a senator has sufficient reason to convince the Speaker that the senator is unable to substantiate the allegations instantly, the Speaker shall require that such senator substantiates the allegations not later than the next sitting day, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121, unless the senator withdraws the allegations and gives a suitable apology if the Speaker so requires." Senator Sifuna MP was not able to substantiate his statement instantly and requested time to do so at the next sitting, in accordance with the Standing Order 105.2. Having acceded to the request, I directed that the senator substantiate the statement at the next sitting day, which is today. Accordingly, and pursuant to Standing Order 105.2, I now invite Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna MP to forthwith substantiate the claim in the statement he made, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121. In the absence of such substantiation, the senator shall be required to withdraw the statement and apologize to the Senate. Honorable Edwin Sifuna, you may now proceed to substantiate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, that is a proper account of the happenings yesterday, and it just turns out that the God that I serve works in mysterious ways. Honorable Speaker, as we were having that debate, this House was not aware that, in fact, the Cabinet Secretary for Health had addressed the National Assembly yesterday morning, in which he confirmed exactly what I said. I requested, Honorable Speaker, that I be allowed a facility to play videos today. We have a video of the proceedings in the National Assembly yesterday. I also requested, Honorable Speaker, for the Hansard from the National Assembly as of the the commencement of the House this afternoon. I was told that the Hansard from the National Assembly was not ready, but I have a letter here that I wrote to the Clerk of the National Assembly requesting that record of those proceedings be made available. When we started these proceedings, I had approached the desk to ask them whether they should have the flash disk delivered up there for the video to be played of the Cabinet Secretary indeed confirming that despite the court order, that project is proceeding. So, Mr. Speaker, at this particular juncture, I request that I table both the letter to the Clerk of the National Assembly requesting the proceedings and the video of the Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable C.S. Duale, confirming that the project will indeed proceed.
Thank you. You may proceed to table.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I do hereby table a video recording of the proceedings of the National Assembly yesterday, Wednesday, the 3rd of June 2026, and a letter to the Clerk of the National Assembly, the Honorable Samuel Njoroge, CBS, requesting for Hansard recordings of the said proceedings. I hereby table.
Thank you. I will review the material tabled and make a further communication. Now, before we move to the next order, I had two senators who are yet to make their comments. Senator Mandago, you may proceed. Bearing in mind you have 3 minutes, under 3 minutes to do so.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise in support by the statement by Senator Alexander Mundigi, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of mangoes and fresh produce that is going to waste from farmers. First, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that mango production is also happening in Kerio Valley, West Pokot, and Baringo counties, Honorable Speaker, and there is need for the county governments to establish processing factories, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the Senator is seeking whether national government can put funds to actually establish processing plants. I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, this House has been very gracious to fight for additional allocation of resources to county governments, and in every year, there is an increased allocation to counties, Honorable Speaker. I therefore expect our county governments to take advantage of the county industrial parks, the county aggregation parks, and develop processing plans for this fresh produce, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would want to encourage that counties work closely with the State Department of Industry so that these processing plants can be established. Honorable Speaker, in regard to the statement sought by Senator Ezena Lematian on the issues of school feeding, Honorable Speaker, there seems to be no transparency in the process of school feeding that is happening in this country. This organization called NACONEC, Honorable Speaker, has been in existence. And I remember at some point His Excellency the President made a comment that there are a raft of suppliers who have held hostage that organization, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, there is need for the Ministry of Education to be transparent in the process of identifying beneficiary counties, beneficiary constituencies, and even beneficiary wards, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we know school feeding is a program that is meant to support access to education, Honorable Speaker, and encourage children from vulnerable families to be able to stay in school. And we know when children are given equal education, Honorable Speaker, we increase their opportunities and their horizons in the country so that they are able to compete with all children from across our nation, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the way this feeding program has been carried out has been shrouded in a lot of secrecy, with NACONEC behaving like a government entity, sometimes like a private entity, and there is need for clarity. We want to know, is NACONEC a semi-autonomous government agency within Ministry of Education, or is NACONEC a private entity? Is NACONEC and school feeding program a preserve of members of parliament or senators also who represent marginalized counties and areas where they face severe drought are also part and parcel of those who should be consulted in the decision-making process of how the food is going to be distributed and allocated?
Okay, very well, Senator Abbas. You have your 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement from Senator Sena. Honorable Speaker, on this school feeding program, Honorable Speaker, this feeding program has been continuing for many years. And it has actually helped so many young children to grow up and complete their school, their studies. But however, it has a lot of challenges. Honorable Speaker, this food does not reach to every corner of this country, especially those who need it. There's a lot of hurdles. There are so many people who misuse it. There are many ships have been given to. the teachers don't take care of this food, relief food. Sometimes they don't even have to cook. They don't even cook for it. They might even exclude some of the days for feeding the children. Teacher, Honorable Speaker, there are children that go to school without even breakfast. And when they go there, this means there is no even water to cook for them. there are a lot of challenges. And therefore, one other thing is actually there are a lot of, underhands that go and use this food to buy, and some of them buy the food, some of them sell it. So I think what Sarah said, we need to have an audit of this food, school feeding program. One other thing, Honorable Speaker, is that we need to have, instead of taking food from Nairobi and then transport them all the way to Wajir and Mandera and all those places, Turkana, I think the local suppliers can be able to supply that food. It will bring money to the school, to the town. People, the businessmen can supply. Instead of bulking these things, I know some of the food comes from WFP, but what we need is to buy, and instead of buying food from other places, the food should be used by the traders should be empowered, so they can be able to supply the food to the schools, and they will be able to supply to the respective schools up to the last mile. And I think that's the only way we can be able to save. Otherwise, the overhead cost is just too huge that the transportation and other costs of overhead costs are so many, so that we will be able to reduce the amount of money being used for transportation of food and for the supply of food. Thank you, my Honourable Speaker.
Senator Abbas, you are the last actually contributor to the statements.
I continue.
But I can see my younger sister. Sorry, did you finish? Yeah. Senator Okenyuri, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your indulgence. I also want to support shortly Senator Izena's statement by saying that, Mr. Speaker, these regions are already disadvantaged, and that's why this is coming up as a measure to assist them. So when this is a measure to assist them, we shouldn't again experience issues of, we shouldn't have transparency issues. Let this process be very transparent so that every other person is satisfied that indeed this was a transparent process, and whatever processes that have been undertaken are well known to the public. Mr. Speaker, if indeed there is issues of, kichini happening in this program, it's a very big blow, because then who loses? It's the students, and even it disadvantages locals who are able to provide this food. Let this also be an avenue to empower local suppliers, so that we are not having the same suppliers who are providing the students with this food. Mr. Speaker, I hope the committee is going to dig deeper and furnish this House with answers on this matter which is affecting our friends from the north. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, before we go to the next one, there is this statement which the chair was not allowed, but I want to use my privileges to allow Senator Okububi to read on behalf of the chair national question. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me the opportunity to present this statement on behalf of the chair of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration. I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 56, 1B of the Senate Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56, 1B of the Senate Standing Orders to make a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration for the period of January to April 2026. During the period under reference, the committee held 42 sittings at which it considered various legislative business, i.e. statements and inquiries from the Senate, and held stakeholder engagements as set out below. A, statements. The committee received 3 statements and have already written to the stakeholders inviting their submissions on the issues raised. The committee is at various stages of interacting with the stakeholders and preparing its responses. B, inquiries. The committee is currently conducting an inquiry into the representation of Kenya's diversity in the staff composition of the semi-autonomous government agencies, SAGAs, and county assemblies. The committee held 42 sittings, during which 31 stakeholders appeared before it. The committee will table a comprehensive report at the end of the inquiry. The committee is in processing a statement requested by Senator Catherine Muma on rising trend of unchecked inflammatory utterances by influential public figures and political leaders, was able to interact with the Inspector General of Police, the Director of Criminal Investigations, and the Communications Authority, where the committee was apprised on the challenges faced by the policing and other authorities in eradication of inflammatory statements made by political leaders. The inquiry has been impactful in ensuring, 1, compliance in staff inclusivity and diversity in government agencies and county assemblies, 2, sensitizing the aforementioned government institutions on the need to give equal employment opportunities to women, youth, persons with disability, and marginalized communities. And 3, the committee's inquiry also ensures that government entities accord at least 30% of procurement opportunities to women, youth, and people with disabilities. That is AGPO. Honorable Speaker, during the remainder of the 5th session, the committee has prioritized the conclusion of legislative business before the committee, as well as county visits. As I conclude, I wish to thank the Office of the Speaker and Clerk of the Senate for the steadfast support that they have accorded this committee, as well as the members of the committee for their utmost dedication and commitment to duty. I thank you. Senator Mohamed Chute, CBS MP, Chairperson, Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity, and Regional Integration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Next one, the clerk.
Order number 8, motion, reports of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagements in Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Kiambu, Bungoma, and Kakamega counties. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 3rd June 2026, morning sitting. Mover to reply.
Okay, Chair, Health, Standing Committee on Health. The mover should leave right now. Is it the chair or the vice chair? Vice chair, proceed. That is good, Senator Mandago. You know you're empowering the vice chairs. Actually, one of the chairs who has really done a lot on this floor is your vice chair. So thank you for empowering the gaucho. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is a leadership role that my chair has. That's why he is empowering.
And also for me to recognize that
yes,
he's doing the right thing.
I'm coming to it. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to reply to the motion on the report of the Standing Committee on Health, County Oversight and Network Engagement in Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Kiambu, Bungoma, and Kakamega. Mr. Speaker, I thank first the members who has contributed to this motion. And Mr. Speaker, I also thank the members of the Committee of Health who has done this oversight visiting these 6 counties. Mr. Speaker, so far we have done almost 30 counties. And Mr. Speaker, as I have highlighted in the moving report, and also members also contributed a lot on it. Mr. Speaker, what we have identified is infrastructure, deterioration of infrastructure, and severe overcrowding. Mr. Speaker, deterioration of infrastructure, meaning that there are so many floor cracks, ceiling boards, painting peels. Mr. Speaker, sometimes when patients come, the environment, if it is neat, the environment, if it is well done, there is a mental illness, Mr. Speaker. So the county must also take care of the environment of the patients so that at least before even medications, they will be treated and get medications. Mr. Speaker, I reply to this motion and give recommendations that committees have recommended to the stakeholders concerning the county visit. Mr. Speaker, one, the recommendation is about the SHA reimbursement, which must be the CS and the SHA department must verify the outstanding reimbursement so that they have to respond and take care of the monies which the counties have claimed. There must be a prompt payment on the cash reimbursement, SHA reimbursement. The other one is infrastructural rehabilitations. There are so many stall projects on the counties. So the County Council of Governors should coordinate and set a specific timelines for the finishing of those stall projects. Mr. Speaker, there is an issue also on medical equipment and emergency. Mr. Speaker, emergency issues is a very crucial thing which we have noted in all our county we have visited. The county government must restore all non-functional the functional equipment which has been not been in use for long, and most of them is lack of reagents. They must be installed, and also they must also all the grounded emergency cars, that is ambulance, must be restored so that the emergency, the ambulance must be effective to the citizen. There is an issue of also human resource for the health sector. Mr. Speaker, there is a shortage of human resource in all health facilities we have seen. And also, in that case, there is UHC staffs, which committees has followed it very well, and later on it has been recognized in the Division of Revenue, and now we have to, it must be implemented. The CS must implement the reports of these UHC issues as permanent and pensionable within 60 days of this adoption of this report. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is on this human resource staffing also, Mr. Speaker, there is a lot of lack of motivations of the staff which are working in the facilities. There are some which are working in the facilities almost 20 years, 15 years. And when it comes to promotions, they don't even promote, they don't give the opportunities for promotions. And even when it comes to absorption of those staff, some of them are on contracts, some of them are casuals. Instead of absorbing and making them as a permanent and pensionable, they go ahead and recruit other new staffs instead of absorbing those one in contract. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is the health information system. The health system, the cabinet minister must prioritize deploying of national health information system across all the referral hospitals, and the county government must invest in digital infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, this is to have a good health record for the county governments and all standardized data accuracy and supporting access accountability of the data. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is pharmacy, accountability of pharmaceutical. Mr. Speaker, we have realized that there is a shortage of drugs in some counties because of KEMSA delays in payments, KEMSA not meeting its fee rates because of the pending bills to the county government. We urge County Council of Governors to coordinate the individual debt and settle agreement within a maximum of 6 months. On the issue we have also seen that when it comes to drugs, Mr. Speaker, because of, I think, lack of digital system in the pharmacy, there are some existing drugs, but the doctors are telling the patients, go and buy from outside. But when we went to the stock, the drugs is available. So there must be a coordination that the doctors may be owning pharmacies outside there so that they can get business in their working space. Mr. Speaker, there is another issue of biomedical waste. We have seen this is in most of the counties we have visited, they don't have incinerators. So the county government must immediately cease and open field burning of biomedical waste, ring-fence emergency capital funds for the repair and installation of certified incinerator, and provide all waste handling staffs with appropriate personnel protective equipment. The other one is also patient center care and accountability, which we have noted in all counties we have visited. The facilities must stop detention of the patients over unpaid bills, which we have seen in most of the counties, and develop a social protections and indicate care protocols, and all staff must also wear a visible identification name tags. And Mr. Speaker, identification name tag, it means that we cannot differentiate between patients and doctors. The county government must reinforce that the staff must wear the visible identifications name tag for their staffs. The county assembly must also intensify and structured oversight and require a regular progress reporting from a duty bearing on the implementation of the Senate resolutions. Mr. Speaker, the challenges documented in these reports are not isolated to the 6 counties visited. They are repeated in many other counties and constitute national systemic crisis in devolution of the health sector. Mr. Speaker, that is the last recommendations of I urge the committee calls upon this House to adopt these reports and direct the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Executive Office of the SHA and the county government to submit the implementation status to the Senate within 60 days of the adoption of report. Mr. Speaker, with these recommendations, I beg to reply and pursuant to Standing Order 663 to request that the putting of the question to be deferred to the later date. Mr. Speaker, I request Senator Beatrice to second.
No need, you are okay now. I think you are prosecuting your matter perfectly.
Thank you, Senator.
It's only the chair now to defer the putting of the question.
Thank you, Speaker.
Yes. So we go to the next order. Yes, I have acceded to the request to defer the putting of the question.
Order number 9, the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2024, resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 3rd June 2026, afternoon sitting. Mover to reply.
Also on this business, the mover, the majority leader is not in the house, so I also defer the mover to reply. We go to the honorable senators. If you look at the order paper from order number 10 to order number 22, all these are divisions. And as you know, division in some direction, unless if they crack the table, advises me that we can be able to do that. If not, we go to order number 23. This order number 23. The chair, the chair agriculture was the vice chair of the mediation. They can see it's not in the house. Number 24, 25, 26. That's the majority leader again. 27, Karen Nyamu. She's not also in the house. 28, again the majority leader. 29. Under number 30, Senator Catherine Muma has requested that this order be defunct, and I seen to that as well. That one, Senator Karen Nyamu, also not in the house. And 32, Senator Mohamed Chute. 33, Senator Mwenda Gataya. Order number 34, Senator Miraji Abdullahi, also not available. Number 35, Senator Karungo Dhangwa, also not in the house. And therefore, honorable senators, that is the end of our business this afternoon. Therefore, honorable senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 9th June 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.